Welcome to Hustle and Flow with Heather Hubbard. You're listening to a special bonus episode. Hi, I'm Heather Hubbard, and I was a litigator, partner, and practice group leader at an AmLaw 200 firm. I know what it takes to rise to the top. I also know all too well the toll it can take on your personal life. So how do you shine bright without burning out? How do you embrace your ambition without selling your soul? You're listening to the Hustle and Flow podcast. Welcome back. I am your host, Heather Hubbard, and this is a super short bonus episode that we're calling Quick Tip Tuesday. And the reason I am doing this differently this week is because we just wrapped up the Get It Done Challenge, and that was 5 days of episodes and being on Facebook Live with those bonuses on the podcast, as well as being in Facebook, LinkedIn, really interacting, communicating, commenting to support all of you in that challenge. And so I'm a little tired. So I'm going to take a break this week and just give you a quick tip. We also have a lot of new listeners. So welcome. If you just found Hustle and Flow through the Get It Done Challenge, we are so happy you're here. And I'm just going to give you a little bit of a taste how you can use this podcast to help and support you even more. Okay, quick tip number 1. If you are already a listener and you did not do the Get It Done Challenge because maybe you were on vacation, or you were sick, or you were so busy you didn't have time, whatever it was, just know that you can always participate. You can always go back and do it as a refresher. So if you go to getitdonechallenge.com, it's set on what I call evergreen right now. So there are no prizes. We were doing daily prizes of a 2020 life and law planner, and we did a grand prize for a hotel and registration to Life and Law Live, and you are no longer eligible for those prizes, but you can still get the emails, which includes worksheets and templates. And there's both a refresh and a reset track. So go sign up for it and go through it on your own time. In fact, if you went through the Get It Done Challenge and you notice in a few months that you're slacking off or falling back into old habits, I encourage you to come back and participate as well. All right. So that's quick tip number 1. This is available to you. Come back to it. Start it anytime. Okay, quick tip number 2, and this is whether you participated in the challenge already or not. Remember that staying on top of your to-do list and beating overwhelm is a constant practice. It really is. So I know how to get a lot done. I know how to be super focused. And I know how to get really overwhelmed and stuck and really fall back into those old hustling behaviors over and over again. So even though I have awareness, even though I have the tools, it doesn't mean I'm not human and that I don't have that happen to me. Here's the good news. Once you are trained on it and you catch yourself falling back into that hustling mode or completely getting overwhelmed, you have the tools. And so that's where you really have to go back to them. You have to go back to the tools. But the best way to stay out of it and to even have the awareness to go to the tool as soon as you go backwards is having a regular practice. So really getting into the routine of planning each quarter, planning each week, planning each day, that is what's going to help you have that little bitty constant reset so that when you have a few days where you fall off, or you have even a few weeks that you fall off, you know that when you work the system, it works. So you know that you know exactly what you got to do to get back on track. So go ahead and make it a daily practice. Don't let this be an annual challenge where you find yourself in just a month or two, or even a few months in, really right back where you started. So my number 1 recommendation for you, even though this is tip number 2, is to really get into that daily practice of planning. And that's what we talked about in day 5 of the challenge. And I have a lot of different episodes on that as well, which leads me to quick tip number 3. whether you are a newbie to this podcast or you've been around for a while, there are so many episodes on the podcast that can support you. And the best way to get what you need in any given moment is to go to the podcast directory. And that is at hustleandflowpodcast.com/directory. Now, if you don't remember that, but you otherwise just want to go to my website, if you click on the podcast tab at the top, the directory is one of those icons on the sidebar. So once you go to the directory, what you're going to see is that we have all of the episodes categorized. So here are the categories: balance and well-being, behind the scenes, business development, career advancement, changing careers, diversity and inclusion, goals and time management, mindset, practice management, and professional development. Now, we only assign one category per episode. So some episodes technically might fall in a few different ones, but we want you to be able to go to any given category and just see a set. I don't want you to have to go to lots of categories and see the same ones over and over again. So wherever you feel like you need the most help, just go to the directory, pick the topic where you need support, and then listen to those. I also thought I would just give you a heads up what our most popular episodes are to date. There is a caveat with that though, because Libsyn, which is our podcast platform provider, I'm probably saying that wrong, they changed their reporting in 2017, months after we had already started. So I don't know that this is 100% accurate with some of our early episodes, because I know that episode 3, Take Back Your Day, related to the priority matrix, is hugely popular. I also know that episode 8, Why Saying Yes Means No, I also know that that's hugely popular, but those were before they changed the settings. So they're not showing up as our top right now, but I know people love them, so you might want to check those out. Okay, so without further ado, I'll just share with you the top 10. Here are our top 10 downloads right now. And it was kind of interesting because I've not looked at these in a while, and the first one definitely surprised me. So the very first one is episode 67, How to Be a Rockstar Associate. The second is episode number 82, Boredom versus Burnout. Okay, number 3, episode number 71, The Power of Planning. Number 4, episode 102, When Less is More. All right, number 5, episode number 103, Capturing Billable Hours. Number 6, episode number 81, Networking Nonsense. All right, number 7, episode 101, Standing Out in a Crowded Field. Number 8 is episode 74, Work-Life Balance Myth. Number 9, episode 55, Setting Boundaries. And number 10 is episode 44, Scheduling Secrets. So go check out the directory. Feel free to check out the top 10. There is so much here on the podcast to support you, regardless of your practice, how many years you've been a lawyer, or even if you're not a lawyer. We have a lot of non-lawyers who listen. So go use the podcast. It is intended to support you. All right. And last but not least, I've got quick tip number 4 for you. And that is to go ahead and plan ahead. Make sure that you are constantly checking in and being intentional so that you don't keep just going with the flow. And by going with the flow, I don't mean the good kind of flow. You're just kind of letting wherever your life takes you, you're just kind of like drifting away, right? So you are in the current of your practice, you are in the current of wherever stage you are in life, and you wake up in a few years and you're like, how did I get here? Because you weren't really steering the ship. So if you want to remain intentional, I highly encourage you to think ahead about how you're going to do that. And the best way I know to tell you to do that is to set aside time towards the end of the year to really do that check-in, to get clear on how far you've come, to get clear on where you want to go, because this can change every single year. You want to do that check-in and then really work through how you're going to do it. And that's why I do Life and Law Live every year in November. We kicked it off last year. We're doing it again this year. It's going to be in Miami at the Cadillac Hotel and Beach Club. I am so excited, and I would love to have you come join me. So if you sign up between now and April 17, that's our early bird registration launch, you get 50% off. So if you want to register and take advantage of that 50% off, all you have to do is go to lifeandlawlive.com, and we'll include that link in the show notes for you as well. If you know you want to come, now is the time to save. Go ahead and get it on your calendar. That way, you know you won't have conflicts come up. You're going to save money, and you know that you're going to be ready for 2020. So I've given you some amazing tools. You've got the podcast. And of course, there's other ways that I can support you. You can always go to my website to see the other services that I offer. But if you really want to make sure that being intentional is part of your routine, it is part of your habits, it is part of your life, get your butt in a seat for Life and Law Live. It is going to be so much fun. I will walk you through everything you need to be thinking about. And the people that show up are just amazing. I really do attract the most amazing attorneys. Women and men are welcome, although full disclosure, we do have mostly women, but the men that I do attract are so supportive and awesome. It's never a concern for me when they do show up. So I hope you will consider not only joining me, but joining this amazing group to really support you and help you be intentional in life and law. Thank you so much for an amazing Get It Done Challenge Week. It is always a pleasure to get to interact with so many of you. And I hope that you will continue listening to the podcast and share it with others whom you think will benefit as well. All right, that's it for this week. I'll see you next week. I am super excited to announce that the Life and Law Planner is officially here. It is more than just a calendar. It is a full planning system. If you want to take back your days, your weeks, your months, and your year, order your planner now. It will completely change your life and help you accomplish your biggest goals. There's only a limited quantity available, so go to lifeandlawplanner.com and order yours today.